Hello, my name is Nicolette Zynger, and I'm going to be testing fragrance 359. This fragrance kind of reminds me of freshly picked cherries, like the exact smell you'd get after rinsing cherries in a bowl and going to eat them. Um, Almost has like a licorice smell to it, almost like I can taste it. If I had to describe this to a friend, I would say it smells like a mix between fresh cherries that have just been rinsed that you're about to eat, mixed with a Twizzler. This fragrance reminds me of going cherry picking and eating the cherries right after, or getting cherries ready to bake in a pie. Probably again around springish time or winter time. I always relate cherries kind of to those times of year. Cherries in the fresh part for spring, and then for the baking part for the fall and winter. When I first sprayed this morning, it smelled very fresh to me, but I wasn't sure if I liked it. And then when I sprayed it in the middle of the day, when I first got home from work, I, for some reason, really didn't like the smell. Um, it didn't really remind me of cherries anymore. It was more of like on the licorice side, but like black licorice. And spraying it now, it is kind of like a mix between the two. It's not a fragrance I particularly would go out and buy, um, but I don't hate it. Um, I guess the changes were, I went from liking it to hating it to kind of being on the fence about it, but it's definitely not a fragrance I would buy and use in my house. I could see maybe somebody of an older segment enjoying this fragrance. Like my mom might enjoy this fragrance, not saying that she's old, but I think the kind of like more raw cherry smell here would really fit somebody who was looking for that kind of like fresh kitchen smell of, just picked cherries and so on and so forth. Um, if I were to buy this, I would probably get it in a diffuser. Um, when I'm using diffusers, I kind of am looking for more of that raw smell, more earthy tones, patchouli, lavender, or vanilla, or cherry, just something very to the point, rich fragrance. If I were going to use it, like I said, I would probably use it like in springtime with a conjunction of like maybe a citrus smell to have those fresh fruit flavors coming through the house, um, scent flavors coming through the house. Or maybe I would use it in conjunction with a very floral smell to kind of bring a little bit of the warmth and earthiness to the floral. Or I would use it in holiday time to kind of complement maybe like a spicy fragrance, like a cinnamon or something like that. Smell kind of like the house was always warm and inviting and baking, so to say. If I were to use it, like I said, I'd probably use it in the kitchen area, um, and definitely as a complement to something else, not by itself. If if you were to make improvements on this fragrance, I would say to make it more um, spicy in conjunction with the fresh smell. I'm smelling now, especially a little more licorice than cherry, and I think people oftentimes, as sad as it is, like the artificial cherry fragrance better than the real one. But I think you could definitely grow upon the fresh cherry smell and make it more of like a baking fragrance, or add something that makes it feel more outdoorsy and fresh. This is definitely different from fragrances I've used in the past. I typically will go towards more of, when I'm going for more of like a fresh smell, something that's like a fragrance that is legitimate to the product, I will go for more of like a pine. I love pine. I love balsam. I love florals. And I like citrus fruits because I think they smell very clean and fresh. This one is kind of more of the fragrance of something I'd like to eat, but not sweet enough that it's something I really adore smelling in my home. If I was going to name this fragrance, I'd probably name it like fresh picked cherry, or cherry pickin', or something like that, that really brings you back to the original cherry. Just cherry, the fruit, and its scent. I would probably rate this a 2 out of a 1 to 5 scale. I'm not disgusted by it, but it's definitely not something I would smell and be like, hey, smell this, or purchase for my home, like I said. If there were adjustments made to it, I think I could really like it, but it definitely needs to be either a lot more spicy or a lot more sweet.